Hey guys, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey Ruva. Ruva got here first. Sham 504. Ruva 504. Sham. Thank you guys. Thank you for getting here. 1, 2, 3 first. Okay. Guys, we had a friend Drew going on over on Real Talk Bougie, and it was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. We'll do a do-over later. We'll just forget that like 15 minutes ago happened and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone gets a do-over every now and again, right guys? Okay, even your girl. Even your girl needs a do-over every now and again, right? Okay, guys, welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I did not send out any kind of alerts and I know everybody is not subscribed here and some people may not care about the topic that we're getting ready to discuss, but we're going to get into it and that's okay. That is okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Let's get into it. Let me see. Okay, I was trying to get all of my ducks in a row real quick. I was trying to get my ducks in a row. I want to show you guys something first real quick. Let me do that first. Of a male of a okay, I just want to make sure my screen isn't it's always there's always bound to have something showing that's not supposed to be showing and for some reason uh I wish I could do uh, okay. Uh oh, duh. Hold on. Okay. All right, that works. That'll work. Okay. All right, let me show you guys this first. Um okay. So I um reached out this morning to the Busby law firm, which is the firm that has filed the suit against Mr. Brown. Okay. Laura Kernick is one of the paralegals, as you can see on your screen. And she sent me the PDF of the filing, and she also wanted me to know. She gave me a statement from Mr. Busby, who is, I think his name is Larry Busby. He is the attorney who filed the lawsuit against Mr. Brown. And he says, "Here's Tony, excuse me, Mr. Tony Busby's statement." Scratch Larry, pardon me. We obtained a temporary restraining order yesterday to make sure that the video at Dickies, so that's Dickies Arena in Dallas, which is where the concert took place, is preserved and to ensure any texts and videos on the defendant's phones are preserved. He also states, Mr. Busby says, "This is Texas. The people here don't care how important or famous you think you are. You have an obligation to follow the laws and conduct and conduct yourself in an appropriate way. Unprovoked violence can't and won't be tolerated. We intend to seek all damages that the law allows against Brown and his cohorts, to include punitive damages." And that is coming directly from Mr. Tony Busby. Okay. Yes, Busby. Yes, that's the name. So, sir, they sent me the statement, which was very nice. And they also sent me a nice clean copy because sis was combing the internet all night trying to find it. I could not find that damn thing. I couldn't find it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just call. Hello? I mean, $50 million. Okay. Yes, P went to the concert. She did. Yes, Pressure P went to the concert. She sure did. Yes, yes. We love some Peyton Marie Charles over here. Who's Peyton? Peyton is a awesome lifestyle vlogger that your girl highly recommends, and she's a friend to Bougie Gang. So if you are looking for someone new and fabulous to watch, and I highly recommend our good sis, Miss Peyton. She is awesome, and we love her over here. Okay, over here, over there, and everywhere. Okay, Bougie Gang supports sis. Um, okay, let's get into it because I do have let's stop over here. Let's stop over here first. Um, let's go on Instagram. Okay. So Mr. Busby posted to his Instagram, Mr. Tony, um the face sheet to the filing. Houston Ancillary Court entered temporary restraining order against both Chris Brown, Live Nation, and Dickies Arena, preventing the destruction of video, text messages, and other evidence. According to the law, the court further finds that plaintiffs have shown a viable cause of action again exists, and there is substantial likelihood the plaintiffs will prevail at trial. So yesterday he posts, now this was a little bit, I was a little kind of like, okay, why would, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Um this is a picture of 2009 when Chris was sitting in contemplation after the incident with our beloved Rihanna. So I don't, you know what I mean? I think they artfully chose this picture because, you know, they're not trying to make Breezy look good. We filed last night, we filed suit last night alleging that on Saturday night, in Fort Worth, entertainer Chris Brown, along with his entourage, attacked and brutally beat several men who had just attended the concert. Multiple police reports have been made. At least one of the men beaten remains hospitalized. Chris Brown reportedly has a long history of violence and has been arrested and accused of assault on the at least 10 occasions. Enough. The lawsuit the Busby law firm has filed seeks damages on behalf of four men brutalized with the hope of obtaining justice for these victims and putting an end once and for all to the intolerable and thuggish behavior set forth in the lawsuit. Okay. 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 All right. Let's get to the other deets. Hold on, let me. Girl. Is this it? Okay, I was about to say, I know I had this lined up. Stop playing with me. Girl, I had so many damn windows open. I was looking for the police report. After we get off of this, I'm gonna find that police report. Sometimes it's almost like the hunt for me. Like, I know y'all not making it this hard for me to find what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. And I need to make sure. Let me do some scrolling rolling just to make sure I'm not seeing any addresses real quick. Okay. Okay, they got pictures and everything. Okay. I literally got this while I was live earlier, so I haven't read this at all. So let's get into it. Okay. Let's get to page 1. All right. This was filed in Harris County. Okay. Come now. Okay. So plaintiff's original petition and verified application for temporary restraining order. So that was that. Did she send me the full lawsuit? Okay. Please original petition and verified application for temporary restraining order. Okay. Come now, Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, DeMarcus Powell, and file this original petition and verified application for temporary restraining order against Christopher Maurice Brown, Live Nation World Incorporated, Live Nation Marketing, John Doe, Cinco CJ, Amalu Amari Akanulu, Hood Boss, and Marquise DeAndre Conway, Yella Breezy, and and would respectfully show the court as follows. Summary of the case. The case arises from a violent assault perpetuated. You guys talk in the chat, okay? I'm going to be reading, okay? The case arises from a violent assault perpetuated by a troubled recording artist with a checkered past. Without justifiable provocation, performer Chris Brown, and his paid entourage brutally and severely beat plaintiffs Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell. Chris Brown has a long history of violence. The plaintiffs herein are the latest of a long line of individuals who have suffered at Brown's hands. The latest incident, which is subject of this case, occurred on July 20th following Brown's performance at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. The concert was presented and marketed by Live Nation defendants. The violence included Brown and his entourage surrounding the plaintiffs, throwing chairs at them, and repeatedly kicking, stomping, and beating them. The unprovoked violence included multiple strikes to the plaintiffs' heads and chests and ultimately involved stomping them while they were down. The brutal, violent assault participated in and directed by Brown severely injured all plaintiffs. Chris Brown egregious conduct must be stopped. Through his action, plaintiffs seek to hold responsible Brown's presenters and promoters, as well as paid entourage for this outrageous and violent behavior. This case seeks both compensatory and punitive damages in excess of $50 million. Plaintiff is a resident of Denton County, Texas, who may be served through their undersigned counsel. Plaintiff is a resident of Denton County, Texas, who may be served through her undersigned counsel. Plaintiff is a resident of Denton County, Texas, who may be served through her undersigned counsel. Defendant Christopher Maurice Brown is a California resident and resides in California. Defendant Live Nation Worldwide Incorporated is a foreign for-profit corporation whose principal place of business is located in Houston, Harris County, Texas. It may be served with this process by serving its registered, hold on a second. Girl, too many addresses. Hold on. Let's get past this part and then I'll bring it back. Live Nation is a for-profit corporation whose principal place of business is in Houston, Harris County, Texas. It may be served with process by serving its registered agent, Corporate Creations Network, on Westheimer in Houston, Texas, or wherever it may be found. Live Nation Marketing is a foreign for-profit whose principal place of business is located in Houston. It may be served with the process by serving its registered agent, in Houston. Jane Doe is a resident and whereabouts unknown. Amalu Kinalu is also a Houston resident. Marquise DeAndre Conway is also a resident of Houston, Dallas, Texas. Plaintiff asserts at a level 3 discovery control plan should govern this case. Claim for relief sought are within the jurisdiction limits of this court. Plaintiff currently seeks monetary relief in excess of $1 million, excluding damages of any kind, penalty, costs, expensive punitive damages, prejudgment interest, and attorney's fees. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over this cause of action because it involves an amount in excess of minimum jurisdictional limits of this court. The court is not subject to removal of federal court because multiple plaintiffs and multiple defendants are domiciled in Texas. The court has personal jurisdiction over the defendants, Live Nation, because its corporate office is in the state of Texas. The court has personal jurisdiction over the defendants because They do business in Texas, and the cause of action herein arose in Texas. Specifically, the defendants are subject to personal jurisdiction here because the incidents in question arise from or relates to a concert they marked as sold tickets for and hosted in Texas. The subject matter and controversy is within the jurisdictional limits of this court. The venue of the lawsuit is proper in Harris County because Harris County is the county in which one or more of the defendants reside at the time of the accrual of the cause action. In the event any parties are misnamed or not named, including herein, it is the plaintiff's contention that such a misidentification, misnomer, or such parties, alter egos of parties named herein. Introduction of the parties. Plaintiffs reside in Denton County. Larry Parker is a victim of a brutal assault by Brown, his entourage, and suffered head injuries and was hospitalized. He has received continuing medical treatment and will need to undergo extensive medical treatment for the damages he suffered in the attack, including head injuries. Plaintiff Bush, Lewis, and Powell were all beat and suffered bodily injuries, including neck, shoulder, back. All plaintiffs are receiving medical treatment and will need further treatment in the future. Defendant Chris Brown resides in California. He has a checkered past. Brown has several times been reported or involved in incidences of violence and assault, beating men and women alike. Brown specifically pleaded guilty to felony assault and evaded prison for beating his girlfriend, performer Rihanna. In that incident, Brown damaged, pulverized Rihanna's face and put her in the hospital. Last year, Brown reportedly stomped and dealt crushing blows to the head of a concert goer. In another incident, Brown reportedly threw a tequila bottle directly at a patron, severely permanently injuring him. Other bad conduct and violent conduct reportedly involving Brown has occurred across the globe. Nonetheless, Live Nation shamelessly profits and promotes Brown, the 111 tour, and brought Brown to Texas for financial gain. Live Nation failed to ensure that the participants of the concert who may be around Brown and his associates were safe. Chris Brown's entourage of assailants includes known felons, defendant Cinco CJ, another musician and member of the Blood Gang, has spent at least 8 years in prison and is known companion of Brown. Sicko participated in violence directed at plaintiffs. Ooh. Defendant Marquise Conway, a former Crip gang member who has been arrested on multiple occasions of possession of firearms, sexual assault, and possession of carrying weapons. Defendant Hood Boss is also known as Amalu Akinolu, known as Brown's companion. Brown specifically instructed to hurt, injure plaintiff, and threw a chair directly at Bush. Baby. Okay. Baby. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me just take a little break for a second. I'm like, my God, this is deep. They might settle this out of court. They might just say, go ahead and let's go ahead and cut the check. Okay. They probably might say, let's go ahead and cut this check. Hold on, let me just make sure I have no more. Where are we? Page 7. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure we're okay. We're gonna do our best. Okay. All right. So item B, brutal attack by Brown, his entourage, and Live Nation Chris Brown event. On July 20th, plaintiffs attended a Live Nation marketed and produced concert wherein Brown was featured. The concert occurred at the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. After the show concluded, plaintiffs, along with approximately 40 women, were invited backstage to Chris Brown's VIP area, an event promoted and marketed by Live Nation defendants. Upon entry the VIP area, Chris Brown instructed all of the women to relinquish their phones and place them on the table. Subsequently, Subsequently, defendants Brown and his entourage left, closed the door, and stationed a security guard in front of it. After approximately 30 minutes of waiting, Brown entered the VIP area. At this time, having grown tired of waiting, plaintiffs were ready to leave and began to attempt to exit the lounge area. Immediately prior to leaving, Plaintiff Bush approached Brown to shake his hand and congratulate him on a good show. Bush stated, "Good show. It's been a while, but I'm glad to see you are doing well. It's been a long time since I've seen you." Brown shook Bush's hand and replied, "Hey, yeah, it's been, and I appreciate that." As plaintiffs then started to exit, a member of Brown's entourage remarked loudly to Brown, "Man, you don't remember you two were beefing." Brown then took a liquor cup and said, "Oh yeah, we were. What up?" I guess he meant to say, I don't know, maybe it was nigga. "What up, nigga? I don't forget shit." Without any further discussion, any response by Bush, Brown then instructed his entourage to fuck plaintiff Bush up. Ooh. Hearing this, Bush attempted to quickly leave with his companions he had brought to the show. At this point, Brown and approximately 7 to 10 members of his entourage followed plaintiff Bush into the hallway and began to assault Bush and his companions. One of Brown's entourage, known alias as Cinco, ran to the left side of the crowd and punched Bush in the chest. Simultaneously, another of Brown's entourage staged alias Hood Boss picked up a chair and threw it at Bush's head. Defendant Brown then turned his attention to plaintiff Larry Parker, instructing Marquise DeAndre Conway and others to fuck plaintiff Parker up. Severely outnumbered, plaintiff Parker fled into the staircase, attempting to exit at the bottom of the stairs. Upon arrival, Parker discovered that the door was locked. Upon instruction of Brown, Parker was then punched in the face, punched in the face and chest, kicked in the head over 10 times, and stomped by the defendant Brown and his associates. Brown encouraged his companions to join the assault simultaneous. Brown and his entourage then continued to beat plaintiff Parker close-fisted for almost minutes, repeatedly stomping defendant Parker's head, kicking his face, his ribs, causing severe bodily injury. Brown. The entourage also punched DeMarcus in the shoulder and Lewis in the shoulder and chest. All plaintiffs are injured, some severe, and all undergoing medical treatment. Are y'all with me? Girl. Okay. Assault and battery, all individual defendants. Plaintiffs incorporate and above paragraphs as if set forth in full below. Plaintiff sues the individual defendants in assault and battery in tort by beating, kicking, brutalizing plaintiffs repeatedly, punching them in the body and head, and then repeatedly punching on him as they lay defenseless on the ground. Defendants deliberately used violent force against plaintiffs with the intent to inflict actual damage. Defendants subjected plaintiffs to unwanted, forceful, intentional, harmful contact, con- constituting battery upon plaintiff's person. Plaintiffs reallege in incorporate by reference every allegation contained in this petition as though set forth fully herein. At all relevant times, defendants had a duty and responsible care in the protection and safeguarding of persons in attendance the 1111 tour concert. Based upon information and belief, the defendants breached their duty of reasonable care by failing to maintain the concert premises in a reasonably safe condition, including but not limited to failing to properly surveil people coming and going, failing to monitor the premises with closed circuit television, failing to timely respond or otherwise act upon patrons' need for immediate medical attention, failing to notice or take precautions against assault, failing to adequately staff employees and security to maintain control of persons present, failing to adequately train and supervise employees on the reporting and discovery of injured individuals and or persons injurious activity, failing to adequately provide safe entrance and exit plans in general and in emergency situations, failing to employ adequate safety measures, and failing to intervene when it became dangerous and life threatening for its attendees. Defendants are further liable for negligence of their employees pursuant to the doctrine of respondent superior and negligence of their agents under the doctrine of vicarious liability. At all relevant times, defendants knew or should have known that it was reasonably foreseeable that breach of their duties to keep their premises reasonably safe in the aforementioned manner might result in catastrophic injury or harm to others, including concert goers, such as the plaintiffs. As a direct and proximate result of defendants' negligence, plaintiffs sustained serious injuries and damages, including physical injuries, severe emotional distress, pain and suffering, medical expenses, and other economic, non economic damages in the amounts in excess of the jurisdictional limits of the court. Defendants, this is what I want to know, okay? Who are these guys and why were they backstage if they formerly had beef? And why is it that Chris was okay with saying hello, greeting the people, shaking hands. And then the minute that his people say something, it's like, oh, yeah, now I remember. Fuck it up. Like, how did that happen? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's strange to me. Why, if you got beef with people, did you buy a ticket to their show? Why, if you got beef with people, are you even backstage? How did you get backstage? Did you buy a backstage pass? Were you given a backstage pass? Like, how did you make it to the VIP if you were on the we don't fuck with you type list? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, okay, okay. I mean, not to say it didn't happen because I guess clearly it happened, but how did these people make it backstage on some we got beef and you got beef? Okay. Because that's a lot of ass kicking seem to have happened, right? Okay. You guys are saying exactly, exactly. Okay. Zach, I mean, it's weird. Maybe it was a money grab. Maybe it was, I don't know. 40 women and then 4 guys. Okay, plaintiff reallege and incorporate by reference every allegation contained in this position as set forth fully herein. With malicious and evil intent, defendant Brown and his entourage intentionally threatened, beat, and brutalized plaintiffs. Why? I just want to know, and I'm not trying to blame the victims that are hurt and all of the things. Why did you come to his show? Why'd you come to his show and why were y'all backstage? I'm gonna say that for the second time. If I don't mess with somebody, why did you even feel like you needed to buy a ticket with all the girls? Okay. Because Chris Brown has a very female audience. Why were y'all men at the Chris Brown show? All right. Why were y'all men at the Chris Brown show? And if y'all were beefing once upon a time, why did you feel like you needed to go shake the man's hand backstage? Okay, get him out of character, okay? Because Sir was on some entertainment and some earning bags that night, and then you know what I'm saying? Okay, groupies, yeah, I don't know, weird, right? Okay, because why were you men at the Chris Brown show? Not to say guys don't like Chris Brown. I'm just saying, why were y'all men at the Chris Brown? Why were you there? Why were you there? Why were you there? Okay, period. Why were you there? These dudes went backstage to get in Chris's line of sight and then expected Chris is wild behind. And Chris was clocked in on the job. His people are the ones that activated, not to say Chris had a battery in his back, but girl, if battery if having a battery in your back was a person, what the lawyer is depicting to me in the earlier pages is when they were like, Chris, don't you remember? And it was like, oh yeah, fuck it up. Okay. Boom. Fight ensues. Okay, let's finish this up. We're on page 10. Um, Okay. Plaintiff reallege and incorporate by reference every allegation contained in this petition as set forth fully herein. With malicious and evil intent, defendant Brown and his entourage intentionally threatened, beat, brutalized plaintiff, intending to harm attendees at the concert, including plaintiffs. The poor girls. What about the 40 girls that were lined up for a Chris Brown nasty pic? You know how the girls go backstage and they all get like a cute little nasty pic with Chris? What happened to the 40 girls who probably paid to go backstage to go get a little cute boot up picture with Chris? Okay. What happened to that? Brown and his entourage in international act instructing Oh, excuse me. Brown and his entourage's intentional act instructing his own security to injure and beat up the plaintiffs, including at least one who was deceased. Result who was who was deceased. Okay, what happened? Including at least one who was deceased, resulted in the infliction of serious physical injuries and emotional distress. Further, the other defendants are similarly liable for their actions in failing to stop the assault despite the pleas and cries. The foregoing conduct is beyond outrageous and beyond acting with conscious disregard of the probability that plaintiffs and other concert attendees would be injured, knowing that the foregoing persons were present when he maliciously and with evil intent continued to beat up plaintiffs. Defendants' actions were extreme and exceeded all bounds of behavior tolerated in a civilized community. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's intentional conduct, plaintiff suffered severe emotional distress, and his conduct as well as substantial factor in causing plaintiff severe emotional distress. Damages. As a direct and proximate result of the foregoing events, plaintiffs suffered damages in the past and in reasonable probability will continue to suffer damages in the future, including physical pain, mental anguish, loss of wages, loss of earning capacity, and disfigurement, physical impairment, and medical care, all for which plaintiff seeks recovery herein. Plaintiffs seek all allowable damages for their injuries allowed by Texas law to include damages for past, present, and future mental anguish, pain, suffering, and medical expenses. Exemplary damages. Plaintiff seeks to recover exemplary damages against defendants based on their gross negligence and causing the incident and resulting injuries and damages made on the basis of this suit based on the acts of the individual defendants who are criminal, who are and the defendants are also criminal acts, and punitive damages sought are not subject to capping. So uncapped. My God. Demand for jury trial. Plaintiffs respectfully demand a jury trial and tender the appropriate fee with this petition. Sir didn't leave out anything, huh? Plaintiff hereby requests and demands preservation of evidence. Plaintiff hereby requests and demand that defendant preserve and maintain all evidence pertaining to any claim or defense related to the incident made the basis of the lawsuit or the damages resulting therefrom. including statements, photographs, videotapes, audio tapes, surveillance and security tapes, body cam footage, business or medical records, incident reports, bills, telephone call slips or records, correspondence, facsimiles, emails, voicemails, text messages, any evidence involving the incident in question, and any electronic image or information related to the referenced incident or damages. Defendants are further instructed to inform all entities or persons for whom they contract, including the venue and retain security, that they have on duty to preserve evidence. Failure to maintain such items will constitute spoliation. I've never heard of that. Spoliation, guys, of evidence. Spoliation. Okay. Application of temporary restraining order, as if Chris were coming back for more. Um, Girl, they could have just. There's a lot of people who love Prince in our audience in Bougie Gang. Isn't that awesome? Look at the avatar. Busby didn't leave out anything. And then he's introduced us to a word, spoliation. Plaintiff wants a jury trial because he knows the jurors know about Chris's past. Okay, let's finish this up. We're on page 12. Plaintiff's application for temporary restraining order. I'm sure Chris is gone. I'm sure they know exactly where Chris is at the moment. He's on tour. Chris is working. These other guys are in the hospital. Plaintiff's application for temporary restraining order is authorized by TEX, CIV, PRAC, and remote code. So 65.0115, the TRO. Okay, so temporary restraining order is required to preserve the subject matter of this lawsuit, documents, videos, evidence, and to prevent future wrongful conduct. Plaintiff seeks a temporary restraining order against defendants to preserve evidence. There is cause to ask the court to restrain defendants and any and all employees present or involved on January 20th, 2024, the 11/11 tour concert VIP lounge meeting, as well as any entity with whom the defendant, specifically any Live Nation defendant, has a contract with, to include the Dickies area, maybe they meant to say arena, from deleting, altering, modifying, or destroying certain defined categories of evidence, or the plaintiffs who suffer probable, imminent, or irreparable injury if the evidence is destroyed based on the photographic video evidence available of the events on July 20th. Defendants failed to take necessary measures to maintain the safety of the plaintiffs and or actively participate in the assault. Defendants have feigned a lack of knowledge of the gravity of the occurrences that night and will likely allege they could not know or reasonably foresee this tragedy would occur as a result of their acts and failure to act. Without plaintiffs' requested relief, there is a substantial risk that critical evidence will be deleted, destroyed, or lost by defendants. I think when they emailed me, oh, hold on. Let me look at this real quick. I think one of the emails that the paralegal sent me back from the Busby law firm stated that they did get their just a second. She said I think that they did get their TRO. They got the TROs that they asked for, just also as an update, because they sent that the press release. They stated that they did. We obtained the temporary restraining order yesterday to make sure the videos at Dickies is preserved and to ensure any texts and videos of the defendant's phones are preserved. And then there was that statement. So if you want to hear the statement from the attorney that filed this suit against Chris Brown and many more. Just scroll back to the beginning. I reached out to the law firm to get a copy of the lawsuit because I couldn't find it on in the Fort Worth civil system. So they sent it over to me with a statement from the attorney, basically that they are going to the fullest extent of the law with this lawsuit. Okay. Spoilation. The act of ruining or destroying something, the spoliation of the countryside. Girl, spoliation. We're gonna have to use that. I like that. Okay. Without plaintiff's requested relief, there is substantial risk. Okay, did we read that part? Of critical evidence will be deleted, destroyed, or lost. Respectfully, it is imperative that the court enter a temporary restraining order, which I believe was granted to restrain defendants from changing and altering, destroying the evidence as identified below. Defendants will, within 5 days, make available all books, records, documents, hiring of employees, security for the 11/11 tour, tickets, Dickies Arena, including VIP lounge, their duties, responsibilities, along with the schedule of physical placement at the event. Defendants will, within 5 days, make available all recordings, videos, images, photographs of the VIP lounge and tour. So, okay. Specifically, any that recorded the injuries and that resulted from the occurrence. So I wonder if they got a full list of were there any other witnesses? Maybe in the hallway. Defendants will, within 5 days, make available all recordings, pictures, text calls, emails, any form of communication that relayed there was an emergency situation, an injurious situation involving the attendees of the plaintiffs between any of the defendants. Defendants will, within 5 days, make available all books, records, documents related to the incident, reports, complaints, records of those injured at the 11/11 tour in the VIP lounge. Defendants be restrained from deleting, changing, altering, destroying any tangible evidence related to the subject incident, including but not limited to any and all documents. So footnote 1, there was a footnote somewhere. Okay, footnote 1. Okay, evidence be destroyed. Okay, that was footnote. So footnote 1, declaration of Charles Bush. And then footnote 2 will be failure to act. And granting the temporary relief is used in the presence of status quo. So they're citing some law here. It is further ordered that defendants is enjoined and restrained from. So they're citing case information on, I guess, being able to make that type of request lawfully. Defendants are restrained from deleting, changing, altering, destroying tangible evidence related to the subject incident, including but not limited to any and all documents, linked in accounts. For they have to turn over all their little stuff, their phones. Do you imagine? Videos, body cams, electronic posts, TikToks, Instagram, Facebook posts, Snapchat posts, or communications regarding the incident, actual audio tapes, records. They want, you know what, Chris and Live Nation, just go ahead and cut the damn check. They may as well cut the check because, and these concerts, as much as they cost and as many people that are there, $50 million. I mean, I would venture to guess doing the math. I mean, we didn't even have great seats at Drake and we paid like it was over $300 a ticket and we weren't even like close. We were like second tier, okay? The floor and then up one, right? $300. I cannot even imagine how much, like, and the house was full. It was probably like 15,000 people. Just give them the money. Just pay. Y'all need to just contact these people. This is too much. They need to just go on ahead and cut the check. Call these people, Live Nation. You know you got the money. Y'all got probably about 20 tours going on right now. They need to just go ahead and cut the check because this is ridiculous. They want everything. You want Chris Brown's TikToks? You want his Facebook? You want his Instagram? He ain't giving that up. All these people, You want all the everything, all the shenanigans going on backstage? Baby, come on now. They have 40 ladies waiting back there. You know what those text messages probably have in them? A lot of shenanigans. Okay. They want recorded statements, electronic data, statements, diaries, calendar entries, memos, incident reports, call slips, text messages, emails, faxes, voice messages, everything. Cut the check up. Girl, cut that check. This is one of these charge it to the game. You just need to charge it. Y'all got to charge this one to the MFing game. Okay. Okay. This is what if I were Chris's mom right now, I would be like, baby, we just gonna have to go ahead and cut that check. Okay, because I already know. Cut the check. Girl, they want everything. Okay, that's what insurance is for. And the sad part is, given his track record, this is more than believe. We know it happened. We know it happened. I mean, something happened, right? And at the end of the day, if in fact he pulled the trigger, and let's just say the trigger was fuck it up. Oh yeah, fuck it up. They may as well cut the check. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and cut that check. Defendant shall within 5 days make avail to all plaintiffs and their attorneys or representatives everything. Okay. All you look, it's a little bit repetitive of the same thing. Okay. This order should apply to defendants, attorneys, agents, servants, employees, contractors, owners, managers, and those acting. Everybody got to turn all their stuff over. This evidence is relevant to the claims made by the plaintiff in this lawsuit, the loss of which would irreparably harm plaintiffs. Plaintiffs request that this order shall be effective until earlier than 14 days from the date set forth below or the date the court issued a ruling on plaintiff's request for temporary injunction after proper notice to the defendants. Prayer. And they gonna need it. No, for all of the aforementioned reasons, plaintiffs pray for judgment against defendant Christopher Maurice Brown, Live Nation, Cinco, CJ, Hood Boss, and Yella Beezy. Okay. In amount of no less than $50 million for actual damages for pecuniary losses, pain, suffering, disfigurement, mental anguish, and past, present, and future medical expenses, and exemplary damages, prejudgment, post-judgment interest as allowed by the law. All costs of court and all such other and further relief at law and inequity to which he may justify entitled. The Busby Law Firm, and that's from Tony. That's from Tony over there at the Busby Law Firm, guys. My God. So they did file police reports. But along with the police reports, they're filing baby, my God. This girl, they filed it directly from the ER. Okay, sir is still in the hospital. Okay. Woo! My God. Okay. 80% CMOS. We talked about that earlier. I'm trying to figure, what men are going with their daughters. Boyfriends are going with girlfriends. And there's some dad out there who had to load up the SUV or the minivan and take a bunch of girls to go see their favorite singer. Okay. There's husbands and boyfriends, and there are dads, girl dads. Okay. It's part of dad camp. Okay. Dad campers are going. Okay. That's it. a group of guys going to see Chris Brown, I'm looking a little bit sideways. Um, but okay, okay. You know what guys are going? Because maybe some guys who want to meet a bunch of girls, right? That would make sense because where do guys meet women? They meet them at a place where women are going to be. There's going to be a lot of women there, right? Um, but as far as these guys who know Chris, allegedly these guys know Chris and went to a backstage event. And what is said is that they were beefing. That is the part that makes absolutely no sense. If you have beef with someone, I see you, Max. Hey, boo boo. Um, you got your bucket hat and it's a vibe. Can you take a picture in it and send it to me so I can show it to the girls? Or if it's just for me, send it for me. And if you don't want me to show it to the girls, I won't. Isn't the bucket hat adorable? Yes. Thank you for letting me know, boo. You're so sweet. And thank you for ordering. I appreciate that. Bougie Gang, bougie wear is very cute. I do need to work on some more Real Talk bougie stuff, but Bougie Gang stuff is very cute. I had on my navy blue Bougie Gang t-shirt the other day with some cute white pants, um, giving very much Bougie Gang attitude out here on these streets. But yes, oh, you're so sweet, Max. Thank you, hun. Um, I don't, you know what I mean? Like it to the men that like Chris Brown music, very cool, whatever. But it's a bunch of guys going mobbing up to go see Chris. It's them having backstage. How did you guys get backstage? Did you buy the additional ticket to go shake his hand? And why did you think going to shake his hand was a good idea if you had beef? That's what I want to know. But just on some, we don't have time for this bullshit because we're making money this summer. I mean, on the, you know what I'm saying? Like just on the fact that we're getting ready to pick up $50 million probably in the next 2 states alone, when they're selling tickets for no less than $250, and that's in the nosebleeds, those tickets are expensive. I would just cut these people a damn check and be done. Hopefully Live Nation and Chris Brown are on the phone right now trying to figure out who's what percentage is who paying, and they're going to figure it out and just cut these people a check cuz it's to me it's a waste of time, and they probably really need to do their due diligence about limiting this backstage business cuz you guys are on business, and they need to probably control the environment around him a little bit better because sir sir doesn't mind. He doesn't mind. He don't mind. Oh, okay. It's on some fuck it up. Okay. They just need to go back and and do their little bird watching. Yes, they wanted to get with the ladies, take the cute pictures, let the ladies post up on Instagram and promote the concert because they had a good time and they took some sort of cute picture with Chris and da 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 da, all of the things. Uh Look, it happened. It doesn't matter about opening the floodgates. It happened. Open the floodgates of stuff that didn't happen, you get the check of what didn't happen, which may be nothing. But if something really did happen, um, I hear what you're saying, but based on what they're asking, that's a lot. Chris is going to mess around and have to pay for his own tours. Also, you know what? But that's not also a bad thing. Paying for your own tours, it's a lot of money, but he has it. Don't you know what I mean? I'm sure there's one thing that we know. He probably has it. You know. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have another situation um that we can talk about. Also, there's another someone said something about Bougie Gang merch. Here is the link. Oh, thank you, boo boo. You can go to lovelieslacefronts.com. You can also do realtalkbougie.com. Okay. realtalkbougie.com works too. Okay. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. We're gonna go back over to Real Talk and talk some Nesto stuff. I didn't want to get right back into the Sean Hoover document because I know Pam had literally just covered it. I didn't even get to finish watching Pam's because I had to, deal with Boo Boo, make sure she's good. So after I close this out, I'm gonna go check on her, make sure she's taking a good nap and getting herself back together. Get some rest. She might just be having some sinus headache, and she'll be 13 soon, Sunday to be exact. So the way she was describing to me, I was like, babe, you might be going to sleep and grow tonight. Who knows? You know how the kids get into body aching and pain. Um, no, we have not talked about that yet. Yeah, if you want to talk about that, we can. Let me go check on Boo Boo. I'll come back over here. We can look at the body cam footage. We can look at it. It's been published, so we can look at that. It's a mess. I feel so bad for that lady. I feel bad for that lady. I really do. I'm not gonna lie. It was bad. And I feel bad for that lady. You know what I'm saying? People, it's sad when you have to make a decision about um calling the police can really I feel bad for her. I really do. Like that police officer, he's where he needs to be. He's locked up. He's a criminal. He had an itchy trigger finger. He might have just been looking for a reason. I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know. We can watch the video. I don't have a problem with that. Okay. It might be growth spurt. Really? Okay. Yeah, so she's having a little body ache, but it was also a lady time as well. So you just never know. But I gave her a nice good Aleve and a nice Benadryl, and we called it a day. You guys want to talk about our sis dearly departed? We can definitely do that. So give me a minute. I remember not feeling well before my 13th birthday. I started yeah, started your lady's time. Um, that lady is clearly having an episode. She was having a little bit of a episode or something. It's sad that you cannot call and have someone. This is what I would love to see in law enforcement moving forward. They got to get, and I don't know how much training they do on this, but dealing with the public, everybody is not with the shits. Some people are in very much distress out here. Some people are mentally, some people are going through episodes of no medication. They're going through hopelessness, sadness, mental breaks, all kinds of things. And these officers need to stop feeling like everybody's life is in danger. When he when the man noticed that the lady's stove was on, one of the two should have gone over and turned off the stove. If you were going to feel like that, they should have gone to turn off the stove. Why would you I'm not going to say it was a setup, but why would you put into motion the chain of events when you fuck it up? Okay? You brought it to her consciousness to where now she's in a position, now all of a sudden you feel threatened. Why didn't one of you guys go turn it off? Just turn off the stove. You didn't have to take the pot off the stove. Just turn off the stove. Anyway, if you guys want to go look at have you guys seen the if you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I feel bad for ma'am because there's people out here that need the police to come. They're scared. They hear a bump in the night. They think something is going on outside the house. There's weird shit going on, and they don't have a friend or family member to call to say, "Hey, can you come over?" Or, there's lots of different reasons. I feel so bad for her. God rest her soul. And I feel like this is what I also feel as just as I just think that if you are scared out here and law enforcement might not be for you. You dealing with the public is a this is law enforcement have a hard job. But people like that, this man who with the itchy trigger finger or the murder, like is I don't even know what he was charged with. Is he charged with murder? Um, he might need to find another line of work, as made obvious by the video. Okay, let me shut this down. Let me check on baby. I'm gonna set up another live for just like in 15 minutes. Just give me a minute, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. All right, guys. That's it. That's all. This one might go into. Anyway, let me go. Let me shut this down. Let me shut it down. I know I have to go back and blur something out. So if you're on the replay, just bear with me. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later.